amazing life, a wonderful person, a man with a heart of gold, a leader, a visionary, and a father, a friend, a brother, a son, and a great leader, a man of many colors. And we know that Dr. Herbert meant different things to different people. And we appreciate your honoring us this morning. We would continue with the program, but we'll take the opening prayer, which will be done by Pastor Dotu Ojelabi. So please welcome Pastor Dotu Ojelabi to the podium.
Can we bow our heads in prayers? Father Lord, your word says in Proverbs 10 verse 7 that the reputation of the righteous becomes a sweet memorial to him. So this day, we've come to honor the legacy of Herbert Wigwe at this occasion of his dedication of the Herbert Wigwe Memorial Fountain and Garden Unveiling. Lord, we commit the event into your hands. Take absolute control. And at the end of the day, let everyone be blessed in the mighty name of Jesus.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for that very brief prayer. Like I said before, we're trying to beat time, we're trying to keep to time because we know that people took time out of their very busy schedule to be here, so we'll try to make it really snappy. So once again, I welcome everyone here, our distinguished guests, our family and friends, the Access Bank family, the Redeemers family, the Wigwe family, the Isjit family. Once again, you're welcome. Without wasting much of our time, I want to invite the Vice Chancellor of this great citadel of learning, in the person of Professor Shedrack Akindele. Help me welcome him for an open speech.
The Registrar of the University, the Acting Boss of the University Librarian, the Chairman Committee of Deans, the Director of the Institute, and all our very, very special and important guests here seated. Because of time, I wouldn't be calling all the names, but I want to specially recognize Alhaji Aliko Dangote, who is here seated. I also want to recognize Mr. Emeka Wigwe, who is also here, and the entire family. My job is very simple. It is to welcome everyone to this occasion and to this citadel of learning, the Redeemers University. We are privileged as a university to have come in contact with Dr. Herbert Wigwe. The director will still talk more about that. He personally visited this center during his lifetime, and he saw the efforts being made here. And as a passionate person who is known for excellence, he decided, look, I will give a helping hand to what you people are doing here. And he gave more than a helping hand. And that is why, as a university and as a research center, we want to immortalize his legacy. We want to immortalize him. And the little we can do is why we have gathered here today. to have a fountain and a memorial garden in his honor. So I want to welcome everyone who is here from the Wigwe family. I want to welcome everyone who is here, friends and well-wishers. I want to welcome members of the university community. I want to welcome our great team here in SGIT and every other person who is here present. You are welcome to Redeemers University and you are welcome to SGIT. Thank you.
Thank you, Philomena. Thank you for introduction. Today for me is a great day, and we all know what we're here. And I really want to thank everyone for creating the time to come. For this event, because it's very important. Not to only us in SG, but to everyone who knew Herbert. I will go on and read a bit of the legacy for what we know about Herbert and what he did. But I also want to promise everybody, I'm not going to cry today. I have to tell you, I won't. So, I want to welcome all of you and really to say it's really wonderful to see all our faces and people coming from far and near. All united here today in remembrance, and celebration of Herbert's remarkable contribution throughout his life, and in particular his contribution to this center, who became very small, but through some of his action has become a pillar, not only in Africa, but in the world. And we're very happy to be here, to celebrate this important ceremony. And as we gather to unveil this memory, in the memory of a friend, in memory of a brother, in memory of a colleague. So, and before I really go into talking to who Herbert was, for me, for us here, I want to thank everyone who came from far, long distance to make it. I want to thank the members of Access Bank for making the journey. And I want to especially thank Aladi Dangote, and knew what he meant and what Herbert meant for you. And seeing you here today, I'm not surprised. So thank you very much, sir. I know your schedule, but for you to make it here. I know he's gone, but he's not gone. For you and for many of us. I want to thank, the Herbert's family, Emeka, Becky, and by extension, I want to thank Daddy and Mommy. They're not here today, but I appreciate it. They committed that they were going to be here. I had a call with them, they told me, confirmed that they were going to be here. But I know they're here in spirit because they were so determined. I also want to thank the Redeemers University, the Vice Chancellor and then the management, and especially the members of SG and then the SG community. So for me, it's both an honor and a privilege to stand here before you, in celebration of a remarkable individual who has made an indelible mark, not only on this organization, but onto everybody who has met him, onto everybody who has worked with him, and onto everybody, and to people that they not even know, but impacted their lives. He's done this through the great heart that he had. He did it through his charitable organization, and he did it throughout his life. And I can say as a person, I was highly impacted. I've met great people in my life, but he was one person that really showed me through his character that when you care, you can change people's life, you can change people's perspective, and you can change people's trajectory. He was a great philanthropist. I met him a few years ago. And through, discussions related to how we work, we became good friends. And that relationship grew so fast to a point where at times I was even worried. Because I remember one day he would call me and he said, "Prof, where are you?" I said, "Well, I'm on my way to Liberia." I was on the Lagos Ibadan Express Road going to the airport. And Herbert is, "Well, Liberia is not far. Why can't you just wait a little bit and then I come and then we fly together, we chat on the way, I drop you in Monrovia and come back." And I tell Herbert, "Don't worry, you got a lot of work to do. Let me just go and take my commercial flight, go, and then when I come back, we'll meet." He was such a person, just caring. When he doesn't see you, he acts, he chats. I kept wondering, as a CEO leading an organization acts as holding. Is he had time to chat me at late hours in the night? And, that for me was, he was a great guy. Unlike, being very busy and then just being focused. He always look around and then find out how one was doing. So he was a great philanthropist, and he really believed in using his privilege and the resources available to him to improve humanity, people around him, and also to improve a country like Nigeria and one of Africa. Very passionate, believed so much in using, what he had to improve and render the life of other people better. He was selfless. He had leadership. He was inspirational. He was charismatic. He was, he was a positive thinker and really impactful in his actions. That for me was what really attracted me to him. And I want to say that since of the inception of this center, I mentioned that a little bit this morning when I was chatting with Alante, and I said, little action matters. Little action could be very transformative. When Herbert visited, we were still in a place where if they took you, you would not want to sit down. It was a very ramshackle place. But he took his time. He took his time. He didn't feel too big. He didn't feel like I was coming out from a skyscraper. He took his time and sat down with us in the environment, went to the lab, was talking to students, had a feel of what the students were going through, listened to them, talked to them, was curious, trying to understand what they were doing and what work they were doing, and the importance of the work that they were doing on human health. And at the end of the day, when we finished the tour, we came to our conference room. He was inspired. He was positively touched. And he asked one single question that day. And he's like, "Prof, you are really trying, but I know you have challenges. How can I help? How can we help?" I said, one of our major problems is power. That power will help us to go a long way and then to be more productive. And he said, "Do you have an idea of what amount of power you need?" I said, "Well, I think if you go solar, then we will actually come down on the cost of diesel. I know it will be a huge investment upfront, and we'll be able to address the challenge." Fortunately, at the time, we had the vision of setting up a mini solar farm. And I had the document. Actually, I was talking to him, he didn't have the document. I said, "Okay, Herbert, hold on a second." I went to my office, brought a file, and said, "Well, this is what I got. The budget is way beyond our reach, but this is what I got." I actually got scared when I saw the budget then. And I gave it to him. He flipped through. This budget was about $500,000. And I can tell you that right there, he approved it. Right there, without thinking. He said, "I think you need it, and this will be very good for you." He approved it. And I remember him telling Chizoma that make sure that these people have what they need, or this money, as soon as possible, in order for this thing to work. So that solar panel, that's, where you park your car, for most of us, under those panels, or that carport, the carport, that was his vision, that was his thinking, that was the investment he made. And that was very, very transformational. And that for us really was the beginning of, a huge journey, and he kept following on. As he went on to build his university, I somehow became a consultant, because he's always like coming to me, bro, I'm always there available. Recruiting his vice chancellor was like, oh, I'm in Florida, I'm doing this exercise, I'm trying to talk to this guy, I want you to know, I want to hear from you, I want to know, what is your opinion? And that for me was very important to know that he was building, because anytime he talked to me about this university, you could see it beaming. And that was my last conversation with him, that is true legacy. He said, yes, Prof, you're right. That is the real legacy. I was with my wife in his office on that day. And I do think that at that point, he made the case. He made a case for himself, because I knew the vision. He shared that with me multiple times behind his university, and how he wanted to use the university to transform the life of not only Nigerians, but to transform the life of Africa. To reduce capital flight from Africa, but provide an environment that actually could take Africans to the level where others in the world actually study. And that was the man himself, thinking about breaking barriers and his positioning not only Nigeria but Africa in a unique position. So as we reflect on his legacy, it is clear that Herbert embodied the spirit of commitment to improving human health and life. And that is really what embodies, the work that we do here in SG. There's a lot of alignment. So today, as we unveil this beautiful fountain and garden in his name, we're creating a space that not only will honor Herbert's memory, but will also serve as a sanctuary for reflection, for inspiration, and community. So it is a place that will be a continual reminder of his impact, on the world, and in Nigeria, and then in Africa. And it will be a place where we can gather as a community for years to come. So I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude, to everyone who made this founding a reality. And this is always about friends. When I had this idea after he passed on, I started really thinking about how do I immortalize this great friend. I thought about a lot of things, but eventually I settled for something that would outlive all of us. And that was for me thinking about a theme. What is this theme that can represent this man that could stop before nothing? And what came to my mind was water. Water is that thing that you cannot stop. Water is that thing that no matter what you do, it will find its way. And this was who he was. And that was a spirit, that was a mindset, that was a kind of character that he was. And then I thought about, let's set up a fountain. Water. But then he got a great soul, he got a beautiful mind, he got a great heart. And
Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to say the Vice Chancellor of the University, Director SG, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and dignitaries here at the SG community. I want to say good afternoon and thank you for honoring us. I stand here today deeply moved and honored to accept the recognition on behalf of our son, friend, brother, and colleague, Herbert Wigwe. And first and foremost, I'd like to express a heartfelt gratitude on behalf of my family in particular, and appreciation to the African Center for Excellence and Genomics of Infectious Disease, SG, the Redeemers University, for the profound gesture. The Herbert Wigwe Memorial Garden is a testament of Herbert Wigwe's unwavering dedication to improving human lives through groundbreaking research and collaboration. Dr. Wigwe's legacy extends far beyond this garden. His selfless support to SG and Access Bank partnership has paved the way for significant advancements in genomics and public health. His commitment to empowering African researchers and scientists has inspired a new generation of leaders. This memorial garden serves as a poignant reminder of Dr. Wigwe's passion, humility, and perseverance. It symbolizes the transformative power of partnership. So, SG team, I offer my sincere appreciation for your tireless efforts in advancing this research in public health. Your work has improved countless lives, and this would definitely make Dr. Wigwe proud of himself wherever he is. To Access Bank, I thank you for your unwavering support to SG and Dr. Wigwe's vision. Your partnership has been instrumental in driving this impactful change. As we celebrate SG's 10th anniversary and grand opening of the center, let us honor Herbert's memories by the following. Number one, continue to push boundaries in genomics research and public health. Two, fostering collaborative partnership and that drives meaningful changes, as referenced in the COVID experience. Three, inspiring future generations to carry forward Herbert's legacies. And I'd like to say thank you again in honor of this day. Dr. Herbert Wigwe's selflessness, compassion, and dedication will continue to inspire us very much. Thank you very much.
I will charge you for this. Well, thank you very much, the Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, and other staff of the University, Professor Christian Happy, our family leaders, the Herbert Wigwe's family led by Emeka, Peggy, Access family, other distinguished gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you very much for honoring our friend, our brother, somebody whom we actually love so much, but he's not here with us. But I think this is really a great honor to immortalize his name, and I think we deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate what you've done to Herbert. I knew that Daddy, really, really wanted to be here because unfortunately, he wasn't feeling very well this morning, so he's resting at home. I thought he was even here before me. I actually left Lagos very early in the morning, before 7, just to be here because I promised him I came back just 2 days ago from the US to make sure that yes, I'm here to attend this great occasion. I must really thank you, the SJ family, most especially the university. Professor Christian Happy is somebody that I think before I even met him, Herbert has actually talked so much about him. He had a great respect for you, and I think really, really you've done very well by immortalizing Herbert's name. We'll continue to do that because he deserved all this that we're doing for him. He was a great, great person, big heart, great human being. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Well, thank you very much for this great honor, and we'll continue to make sure that we keep immortalizing his name for as long as we live. Thank you very much.
The registrar, the director of SG, big brother, Lajaliko Dangote, the Wigwe family represented by Emeka and Becky, and then the Access family, Chizomam. It's a great thing that I'm able to make it to this program today. I really thank God for this privilege. Prof said he won't cry today. And I know why he didn't cry. I did the crying ahead of you. When I got in there, when I got out of the car with Peggy, I had to go to the corner and I broke down. I really cried. And it's a lot of pain. Herbert was my younger brother. He stayed with me when he was in the university at Enugu. And was a very brilliant young man. Right from his youthful days, you could see a bright star. It is said that the richest place on planet Earth is not the oil wells of Saudi, not Silicon Valley, not the offshore wells around Nigeria, but the cemetery is the richest place on planet Earth. Because in the cemetery, you have people that have gone to the grave with books that they didn't write, inventions that were not made, great achievements that were not accomplished. But Herbert was one person that decided to change that narrative, to expend all divine investments God put in him before leaving planet Earth. He showed us that you could leave planet Earth empty. He poured out all that God gave him substantially before leaving planet Earth. Many of the things he did, we didn't know. We just started hearing about them. So I greatly thank God for his life, and I thank God for people like Elijah Aliko that mentored him and supported him and encouraged him. I want to deeply appreciate all of you that have come, SG and the university community. Of course, I'm part and parcel of the university community. I'm pastor with the Redeemed Christian Church of God as well. It's a great thing that you're doing here, and my prayer is that what God has started with you, He'll perfect it. And all of you that have come to reward, to honor departed brother, I pray that Almighty God reward you marvelously. Particularly our big brother, Jaliko. I was with Daddy last night when he was talking with you on the phone. And for you to leave all that you have to do to get here, it takes love, it takes commitment. And my prayer is that the God of divine compensation will compensate you and everyone marvelously. And at the fullness of our years, I pray that none of us will be part of the enrichment of the cemeteries. That return to God, and God will, through Christ our Lord, will welcome us that we've accomplished when He sent us to the planet Earth. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
The director. I want to put in my own little bit. I have known Herbert long enough. He was a colleague of my sister in one of his very first jobs in banking. I think that was the Capital Merchant Bank. Eventually, I would get to know members of his family. I actually became much closer to several members of his family. And what I noticed initially was he was always proud whenever he ran into my sister to say, your brother is one of my dad's longest friends. That was always how he pitched it. Herbert was somebody with a lot of energy, a lot of creativity. He had so much in one package. He made decisions very fast. He wasn't docile in any way. While we were seeing pleasures and enjoyment, he was seeing possibilities. And the tragedy of Herbert passing away was one of the biggest blows in recent times. And I was shocked at how many people who reacted because he had touched them in such beautiful ways. Up to today, most of us cannot get our head around it. Sometimes I start wondering, what of all these possibilities? Where are we going to take it? I continue to confer and consult with people close to him. My last meeting with him was in his office because I had issues with the development in his university, and I wanted him to change and think out a few things. He told me how far he would go and so on and so forth. But in every way, he was an incredibly remarkable person. Somebody with a big heart, full of so much kindness and compassion. And as we will say, it is what it is. So wherever Herbert is today, I am sure God Almighty will be very kind to him. It behoves us going forward to take up whatever he has not finished and give it the very best example. So thank you very much again to the Vice Chancellor and the Director for putting this together. I don't really live in Nigeria, so I didn't even know of this university. I was looking at the picture there. I wasn't sure if it was Modakeke or Switzerland. But the infrastructure you have here is very impressive. Very, very impressive. I remember Jimmy Carter, when he came to Nigeria, he said, this is not a jungle. The weather is good. The sunshine is fantastic. In this case, it's the rainfall that's actually very nice for today. But we thank God for everything. I will do my best to promote your work here. And hopefully you will enjoy my blessings. Thank you very much.
But after that, Professor Happy developed his own personal relationship with Herbert, and that's why I said today is about him and the relationship he had with Herbert. So and thank you for inviting us. On behalf of the bank, Access Bank, we are very grateful for the honor you are bestowing on Herbert today. We don't take it for granted at all, and we truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who has made our time to attend this very great occasion. Thank you. We cannot be more thankful than we are today, and we're really, really grateful. Thank you, Alaji, for coming. We didn't know you'd be here today, but we're very grateful that you were able to make it. Emeka and Peggy, thank you, and God bless you all.
Anyway, I would say it's like Alaji said, you're going to pay for it.
I have the director here, so I'm covered.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good morning again. Thank you for making our time to come and joining us in honoring Dr. Herbert. We are very grateful, and I want to just pray that we continue with his vision. We should be encouraged to keep fighting, not in a positive way, in impacting life. And I want to say that so that we overbeat everything here, that as we are going to visit his memorial and unveiling, we should just be thankful that he's gone, but we have his memory, his legacy. He still lives among us, and that keeps us going. And I want to also say, as we are going to journey back today in our various destinations, that the good Lord will grant you journey mercies, and we are highly honored. We have not taken anything for granted. Thank you again for being here today. I would hope to see you sometime for more celebrations. Have a good day.
Yeah, we'll start with this one. Taking the picture from that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we're good. Thank you. Throw it out. Okay. Okay, once you're ready.
As a member of Herbert, we have created this memorial, and this memorial is meant for that will take us around the country and then see exactly what we the next.
You and Alan to do together. Yes. Yes. You know, but you can just join everybody. We'll fully throw it out. Yeah.
As we're unveiling this memorial, we can actually
Just drop it.
silent, steadfast, and strong support of ethics. And then it's also served as a continuous reflection of the selfless service to the benefit of humanity. So all these gathering and memorials to God Almighty.
Pull it back.
As I said in the hall, the theme kind of described who Herbert was. As I said, water is that thing that nothing can stop. And that was true. You have to find a way, despite any challenge. And here we have one. And then the garden is actually to express the beauty of the earth, the flowers. You know, flowers actually beautify the environment, you about themselves. You're actually expressing the selflessness of who he was, making others smile, making others progress.
Come back in a bit. Come in. Yeah, okay. All right. That's too extreme. Please come back in. Come in a bit. Yes, come in a bit. Yeah. Sir, in white. Yes, sir. Please. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. Okay.
By what he heard. He was intrigued by the kind of things that can come out of here. He was inspired by the vision of what can happen beyond Nigeria, beyond Africa, and to the international space. Professor Happy shared with us in the hall a few minutes ago the fact that Herbert challenged and pushed the boundaries, that they had an intention for viral diseases, amongst others. But by the time Herbert left here, they were inspired to go further to see what they can do about cancer cases. And today they have made a step forward that the whole world would get to know in a short while. That largely is what has inspired the creation of this center. He motivated them, he inspired them, he gave them the seed money with which they started a major part of what was instrumental, and that was the power. That was really interesting because some of that I just got to learn today. That has been the bane of our society, and that has been what has inspired this memorial center to be built in honor of Herbert Wigwe.
How does this, reflect the values and legacies that he's left behind?
Herbert has always been one to think of the future. He's always been a bold person. He's always been an inspirational leader, wanting to challenge status quo, wanting to see how boundaries can be pushed, wanting to see how we can take it a step further all the time. So he's someone who has always stood for excellence, who has always stood for inspiration, who's always stood for the future generation. He's always been known to be the fearless leader, the bold leader. So that is one thing. This is one of many others that has come to prove what Herbert always stood for. New things. And we just know that new things would come out of this center. This is what Herbert typifies in his everyday life.
Okay, what was the process like bringing this memorial project to life? And what do you have to say to the hosts, the conveners, the initiators of this?
Firstly, I think it's so emotional. This is my first time coming into this center. The director is Jade, the vice chancellor of the university. They have done one thing that I know many others may have intended or maybe would do in a few months, in a few years in the future. But they have set the pace for acknowledging good work, if there's anything like that. They have set the pace for saying, do what is best when you can do it, and it would even live after you. This is a center that would outlive most of us because the breakthroughs that would come out of it is something that would sustain generations for years to come. I want to say a big thank you to the directors, to the vice chancellor, to all those who have worked behind the scenes to make this happen. The garden is filled with flowers. It has a fountain. It talks about how beautiful life can be if you want it to be. It teaches the rest of us to always leave a mark wherever we're at, because indeed those things can outlive us. I think that's what I've taken from this today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
We want to briefly ask you why we are here today.
Well, we're here for the unraveling of the garden that was built in honor of Dr. Herbert Wigwe in appreciation of his appreciation of his in appreciation of his contribution towards the SGID, SGID, which is the foundation of the Bill Gates and Ford Foundation collaboration against this infectious diseases. So they're trying to immortalize him by building the garden out there for him.
Kindly share with us the significance of this memorial fountain to the community and how it reflects the legacies that Herbert Wigwe.
Yes, so what it is that the foundation, the legacy set up here is a source of reminder and as an inspiration to every other person and a memory in memorial of Herbert's life and what he stood for. And like highly eulogized by the director, the essence of the water and the flowers around. You know, water, nothing stops water. It's endless, it's pure, and it signifies life. And the garden, which signifies life and beauty. So Herbert stood for endless possibilities and potentials in making for the betterment of human life. So pretty much this, while this act of a memorial tries to, it tries to build a legacy for him. tries to implant his legacy on the rest of us. So it stands as a memorial to every one of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No. One more, sir.
Yes, yes.
No. Take over. Thank you. Sorry. It's 15. This is sir. Very well. Oh, yeah. I may have to let you go to the back.
Consider all that now.
Yes. And not only enough, we also been able to have a good lecture. Which students because it's worth much more than what's really big.
So we'll see back in Lagos. Yes.
Thank you so much. You're highly honored.
Madam behind the.
God bless you, Elijah.
Thank you so much. Where is it, brother?
Mecca, I love you.
Yes. Most likely, if I'm around, we see what you think. Okay. You want to rest in London.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh,
yes.
On our way, we will see them.
So let's have a quick look.
Okay.